Okay, now it's time for the star to show. It's time for the COVID-19 report for the U.S. We may even take a look at a third report day. Because this is special, that we may take a look at a third report here, okay? Let's take a look at something called histogram cases and deaths, okay? This is an R script, so we're not going to see uh, okay, zoom in. So these are cases box plots for 2021, okay? Interesting, you can see the outliers here and there, all right? Now, here we go. These are histograms for cases 2020 by year, okay? We can see the 2021 cases, okay, here, skewed right. I'm gonna call it even if we got these over here, I'm still gonna call it univariant, both of these univariant, okay? Box plots for deaths. 2021 has, interesting enough, has fewer outliers, even though there's more deaths. Again, this is the median, this is the first quartile, the median, and the third quartile, okay? Now, interesting enough, the 2021 deaths are much more closely aligned, but you did see, these outliers here, all right? And here is the histogram of the U.S. COVID-19 deaths by year, okay? Okay, so that concludes that little bit, that little report there. Let's just keep moving right along here to the COVID-19 vaccine report for the U.S. I guess there is some interesting things about that distribution. Right. Uh, so histograms are univariate statistics. So the question is this: what conclusions? What conclusions can we draw from those? Okay. So you can currently see that the U.S. has administered 495,000 doses, and the number does appear to be continuing up. And you can see over here then that and you can see over here that 241.5 million people have received the first shot, and 202.3 million have been fully vaccinated, which gives the U.S. a 72.5% single shot vaccination rate, which is kind of odd considering how the cases and deaths continue to rise, and a 60.7%, 60.7% full vaccination rate for the U.S. Okay, and now for the final report of the day. Hmm. Where is now? Since January 2020, the U.S. has had 50.8 million cases. Since the last week of February 2020, the U.S. has had 806,439 deaths. We're currently averaging 72.9 thousand 950 a day, which projects out over the next 12 months at 26.6 more million cases. We're currently averaging 1,221 deaths per day, which projects out to 445,985 deaths over the next 12 months. Now, if we take a look at the daily at the yearly statistics, you can see the 2021 COVID-19 cases for the U.S. have passed 2020 cases. Okay, you can see that the third quarter 2021 cases is the third most of any quarter so far. What about monthly cases? Well, we had this nice declining pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row. First 6 months, we had a nice declining pattern in COVID-19 cases in the U.S. Then we had this spike here, and now you can see we're back over here again. Below these numbers here, but still pretty high numbers for COVID-19 cases by month in the U.S. What about weekly cases? Big declining pattern here down in July. Then there's this July spike. Who knows what causes? Some people say it's unvaccinated people. Some people say it's Delta variant. Okay, but I don't know if we really actually know the answer. I'm not sure how confident we are that the answer. But anyway, you can see over here, long declining pattern all the way over here. Okay. All right. Now, what about daily cases? Well, you can see over here we got that spike back over here on January the 8th at 303,462,000 cases. Before we dropped all the way back down here to 8,835 cases back down here. Okay, that's a pretty healthy drop. Okay, from 6 digits to 4 digits. Okay, so what you can see here is that on January the 7th, September the 7th, we had a new spike of 265,429 cases for a single day. Before falling back down here again on October 24th to 17,429 cases. And finishing on December the 18th at 70,354 cases. So what we have here then is an average of 118,869 cases per day on average. Okay, now take a look at deaths. You can see this here. So what you can see here in terms of deaths, 2021 deaths for the U.S. have passed 2020 deaths. And again, the third quarter of 2021 is the quarter with the third most deaths so far. Deaths for, well, look what happened here in the spring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row, we had a decline in COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. A 2-month increase. Now it looks as if we're going to wind up the year on a good note by having a third straight month in a row the U.S. has had COVID-19 deaths decline. Okay. Weekly deaths, long declining pattern over here. A dip, unfortunately, deaths, well, hopefully this week will start a new downtrend for us. What about daily numbers for deaths? You can see deaths spiked on January 20th at 4,442 deaths for a single day before falling back down here to double and triple digits. Okay, then having a new spike on September the 16th at 3,461 deaths, and finally finishing up at December 19th at 137 deaths for a single day, with an average of 1,100 deaths per day. All right. Now here's a question for you: for every 100,000 people in the U.S., how many people have COVID-19? Well, the answer is right on average, right around 35. Okay, 35 for every 100,000 people in the U.S. 35 have COVID-19. And for every 100,000 people in the U.S., how many people are dying of COVID-19? Well, this number here is 1/8 person. Okay. So I'm going to be kind. I'm going to round this number up, this average up, this blue line up, to half a person for every 100,000 people. I'm going to say a half a person in the U.S. has died from the U.S. Okay, so that concludes the report for the U.S. for today. Okay. Okay. So that concludes the COVID-19 reports for today.